Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Three Man Weave. The lights are out in Assembly Hall, so we are here kind of in the tunnel area talking about IU's 73-49 victory over the Gardner Webb running Bulldogs on Monday evening, wrapping up 5 games in 11 days for the Hoosiers. They are off until Sunday. 73-49, like I said, it's a victory. Probably the closest of the first 5 games of the year, if you could say that. Gardner Webb cut a 16-point deficit in half, late in the first half on Monday. IU had an 11-point halftime lead. And then we saw Tom Crean make a switch in the lineup, the first that he's really made all season. Jordan Holtz went to the bench, started the second half, and Derek Elston started. Elston had, I believe, 2 quick baskets right out of the halftime, and then Victor Oladipo really turned up the energy in the second half. He had 4 straight turnovers. Really in the middle of the second half, that led a 13-0 run for IU and held Gardner Webb 6 minutes scoring. Connor talked a little bit about Elston. He's that guy that Crean's mentioned could be one of those other starters coming off the bench. His energy tonight, and not only on the court, but also off the court as well.
Yeah, we saw it in the post-game presser. Elston is a guy that has come a long way since last year. Dealt with a lot of injuries last year, was dealing with a sports hernia. Wasn't really healthy for most of last season, and this season he's gotten off to an incredible start. We saw it again tonight, 10 points, 9 rebounds for Elston, and really feeling comfortable in this role coming off the bench. He's been able to knock down that 18-foot jumper out on the baseline consistently. I feel like every single time that he's open, we know he's going to get the ball, and we know he's going to knock down that shot. And that's an element that maybe IU hasn't had before. And Elston, in years past, has maybe been a guy that's liked to force the action, had liked to do a lot off the dribble. And right now, he's just comfortable in that role. And you can tell he really, it's been a huge boost to IU to be able to have a guy like that that can come off the bench and do that and provide instant offense, to be able to rebound, be able to play in the post defensively. And he has just been a guy that has been very critical for him early.
Victor Oladipo, Avi, after the game, him and Elston were pretty much laughing throughout most of that presser, the whole no-me thing that Victor has started with Quinn Cook from Duke. It is a laughing IU basketball team. I don't really know the proper way to put it, but they're 5-0, obviously on the court, but then it just seems like a more excited team. The crowd is not only feeding off the energy, but the players, I think, are also feeding off the crowd as well.
Yeah, when you're winning, and when you're winning by this much, and when 4 out of those 5 games are at home, it's got to be fun. Because if basketball's not fun at that point, you're not doing something right. And, it's like you said, it's something that's showing up both on the court and off it. Off the court, that was probably one of the most fun press conferences, at least at IU, that I've ever been to. I mean, these guys were jovial. They were joking around with each other. It was lighthearted. It made it comfortable for us. It was just overall just a very lighthearted atmosphere, I guess. And then even on the court, it's with team chemistry. If you feel comfortable with your teammates and you trust that other guy to feed you the ball when you're open, it's going to pay dividends, and it absolutely has. Just the stats to back me up. 4 out of the 5 games so far this season, IU has produced more assists than they have turnovers, and by a sizable margin. And looking at a specific case, let's say tonight there was a play where Christian Watford was driving down the lane, and I cannot tell you how many times I've watched Christian Watford drive down the lane, put up a contested shot, or get fouled in the act and not make the and one. And instead, what does he do? He feeds the ball off to a Cody Zeller that's wide open, gets the easy layup, and it's just, like I said, making the extra pass, creating opportunities for your teammates, and it's showing up on the scoreboard.
Elston had a powerful quote after the game saying this team is different from last year's team in that they aren't a bunch of one-on-one players. They don't care who scores. All they say, or all they want at the end of the game, is the win. It wasn't your typical PR quote in terms of, we're just different than last year. He flat out came out and said that last year this team was about guys and their own individual stats. And nobody cares on this team who scores. Will Sheehy was the leading scorer tonight off the bench, 15 points. He tied his career high. I believe he scored off the bench 4 out of 5 times this year. Guys, what do you think about those 2 guys coming off the bench? Derek Elston, Will Sheehy. Tom Crean mentions 7 starters. He says it almost after every game. Do you guys like where those roles are for Elston and Sheehy? To me, I think they're 2 energy guys that thrive coming off the bench, and I really wouldn't want to mess with that chemistry right now if I were Tom Crean.
I agree completely. I mean, if it ain't broke, why fix it? So you look at what these guys have been able to do coming in off the bench in these roles where, they are high-energy guys. They're guys that need to play in short spurts and maybe not necessarily 8-9 minutes at a time like a Jordan Hulls or like maybe a Christian Watford. There are these guys that need to provide these bursts, and that's what they've been so good at. I mean, you saw it tonight. He had 10 points in a minute 48. I don't know if he's doing that if he's getting starter minutes and he has that much wear and tear on his body. So you know what? Use these guys in these roles because they're comfortable in them. Everybody else is comfortable with them in those roles. And you know what? Like Avi said, it's showing up on the scoreboard. So why deviate from it?
Elston's got to be one of the most efficient scorers, in the country right now. I'm not saying he is because I haven't looked at the stats, but I mean, consistently, this guy is just only missing. And the same thing with Zeller, to his credit. But he's only missing 2 field goals, 2-3 field goals a game.
And he's taking jumpers.
Right, and it's right, exactly. It's not like he's right around the rim. So.
Zeller tonight, again, now we just mentioned him. It's taking us a while to even talk about him. He just had a normal Cody Zeller night. 13 points on 6 of 8 shooting, 9 rebounds. He faced his tallest defender that he's faced all year, 6'11" guy for Gardner Webb. But pretty much Gardner Webb had 0 post presence whatsoever. They started 3 guys
like a high school
that
team.
Barely looked over 6 foot to me. Yeah. Their 4-man was not any bigger than Victor Oladipo or Will Sheehy. Guys, Butler and NC State on the horizon. We've seen Butler struggle earlier in the year. They struggled with Savannah State tonight for a while. They're going to bring it on the defensive end of the floor. It's what Brad Stevens' team has been about these past couple of years. They're going to grind you out. IU's going to have, I'm sure, multiple trips on the floor where the shot clock will get under 10. Is this first test for this team you still believe come Wednesday, or I should say a week from Wednesday when they travel to Raleigh to face NC State, who beat Texas tonight on a neutral floor?
I think it's really these next few games to have Butler, to have NC State coming up. Yes, IU is 5-0 right now, but that does not mean Indiana basketball is back. 5-0 is what they did last year. Okay, they went 8-0 last year. Just because they're off to a 5-0 start against teams like Stony Brook and Chattanooga and Gardner Webb does not mean that this team has made that next step.
Let's say the nicknames of those teams: the Mocs, the Aces, the Seawolves. Thank you.
They have improved, and we've talked about the improvement that this team has made. They've made strides, but we're really going to see if this team has made the important strides when they go to NC State, when they have Butler at home, when they have Notre Dame in a neutral site, even the Kentucky game. We will learn a lot more about this team in the next 5 games than we have in the previous 5 games.
Yeah, as is usual, in these type of seasons. Real quick, I just wanted to point out 2 particular plays I believe are of note before we head out here. One, Mr. Matt Roth recorded a block tonight
on the 6'11" center.
On the 6'11" center.
Tom Crean called it a Ripley's Believe It or Not moment after the game.
Gentlemen, your mom may make the turkey.
And ladies.
And ladies. Your mom may make the turkey, but Mr. Matt Roth is bringing the stuffing. Second, Tom Pritchard had a glorious 2-handed slam, I believe.
I believe so.
Gentlemen, that's what I'm closing out on. Thank you very much.
The seniors, Pritchard and Roth, off the bench tonight. We will be back on Sunday, 7 p.m. tip here at Assembly Hall. And we should mention before we leave, Stetson, kind of the game that's sandwiched in between Butler, NC State, and Kentucky Notre Dame. The 1987 National Championship team will be honored at that game. Not really sure all the details on it. I know Avi put up a blog post on Who's Your Hype, kind of a brief from IU Athletics, so check that out. But yeah, they will be honored at a Stetson game. I believe it's a Sunday game, December 4th, 4:15 maybe, 4 o'clock, somewhere around there. But no, IU has got Butler, the defending national champions, defending national runner-up 2 times, coming in here on Sunday, but a much different Butler team than we've seen in years past. So for Avi Zalen, Connor O'Gara, I'm Kevin Bowen. Have a great Thanksgiving, guys, and we'll see you on Sunday.
We're in midseason.